Hi, I'm Whitney Maddox. This is my husband, Rob Maddox, and we are with Cabin Fever Charity Events.
Yes, Cabin Fever Charity Events is a nonprofit that we run. It started as a memorial to a dearly departed friend, Kevin Dodson. Started 11 events ago. We have 2 events a year. What we do is we raise money for good local causes. We worked for over, 7 or 8 years for St. Francis Service Dogs. We're successful in providing them 4 service dogs over the years. We started in June of 2019 of working solely with the Floyd County Humane Society. And what differentiates us a little bit is we're working solely to get a new building built for the Floyd County Humane Society. They have a general fund to help them out, but we focus solely on the building. So we're going to stick with this until we can get a new facility built for the Humane Society. The show is a one-day show in the fall. It's October the 12th. We have 9 local bands. We support all the local bands in Floyd. It's a dog-friendly, child-friendly event. There's a very small cover charge, $5. We make our money from donations, sales of t-shirts and merchandise, and we also have a silent auction that the good people of Floyd have participated in greatly to help us grow. And we really saw a leap in growth with our first event working for the Floyd County Humane Society. So that is our ultimate goal, to get a building built. It's going to take a lot of people to help us do it, and we've had a lot of support, more support than we've ever had. Our June event was our largest event ever, and it was our first event with the Floyd County Humane Society, so we expect nothing more than for us to grow from that. We've got a beautiful facility for this. We've got a meadow where people park out front. There is primitive camping allowed, small campers. There will be some room for that. You basically park out front, walk straight down our driveway through the iron gates across the bridge, which we call Ellie Mae's Rainbow Bridge, as a memorial to one of our dearly departed dogs. But if you bring your dog and cross the bridge, it generates a $25 donation simply by bringing your dog. So we were very successful in June. We raised over $21,000 for the Humane Society. We're hoping to keep that pace up, and as I said, we're going to work at it till we get there, and we're open to suggestions on how we can learn and how we can grow. We don't have a solid figure yet because we're looking at several alternatives. We're looking at the possibilities of reworking an existing structure versus getting a piece of property and actually building a building from the ground up. So we're looking at it several different ways now, but what this first event did was it got us moving in the right direction, and we've got everybody at the Floyd County Humane Society. People are keeping their eyes open for a good piece of property. We've already had local businesses offer to donate the materials for the building. So we know once we get this thing rolling, we're going to get a whole lot of help with the labor and the materials. So we're here just to really be the financial backer for that project.
And Rob and I, being able to give them the $21,000 in May, they needed a certain amount of money before they could even secure the land. So they're now the Humane Society is now able to, if they purchase a piece of land, to secure it because of the money from May. So proud of that.
First event was totally dedicated to Kevin. It was simply a memorial where we really did nothing to help nonprofits around us. And we decided that we had such a good turnout and we wanted to keep Kevin's legacy going. He was a music lover, that we would start devoting ourselves to good causes in our region. We spent 10 events working with St. Francis Service Dogs. We've had one so far with Floyd County, and this will be our second, but we're going to be here as long as it takes to get that building built. Kevin was a dear friend. He was from Salem. He and I actually worked together for quite a while, but he passed away way too young, about 8 years ago. So when Kevin passed away, we felt like we had to do something for him. It was just such a shock, and nobody expected it that soon. So we did this all in tribute to him, and it's built into something really much larger than we ever envisioned, turned into something really great. So we have 9 total bands, which is about typical for us. We have a beautiful 20 by 20 foot covered stage where the bands play beside the creek. This year we've got local favorites, Seth Custer, probably one of the greatest guitar players in our region. We've got local bands, Coca Bolo, we have Virginia Hollow, we have Chris Link and Shane Edgell that'll be playing a set. We have Paul Riley that'll be playing a set. We have jams, the Junior Appalachian Musicians, and that's one of our crowd pleasers. We get the local kids that Deb Wildman teaches at the jams, and they come out and they actually play a set for us also. So yes, live music starts at 11:30. It will run to approximately 10 o'clock. We have a fully lit stage for the nighttime music, and it just seems to get better as the night goes on. We have a fire pit down in front of the stage that we'll light toward the end of the evening, and we usually have a lot of people hang around after the shows and to play unplugged music and have little jam sessions of their own.
It's so much fun. It's just so much fun.
It
and
is.
for such a good cause. The animals, the dogs and the cats, they deserve so much more than what they have right now.
Yeah, and the other thing that we do is also a chance to adopt a dog. So there will be dogs up there for adoption as well as cats. So the Humane Society will have a cat trailer, and they'll be walking around some dogs. So you can possibly take home a new best friend from our event.
That's wonderful.
Rob and I have now fostered 5 dogs. The last one we fostered actually got to go to her forever home at the spring event. So we got to tell her, see you later, and she went with her new family. And
That brings you a lot of joy, doesn't it?
yes, it does.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yes. And I just needed to clarify that this will be our 12th event. We've only been doing this about 7 years. Yes, we'll have plenty of food there this fall. There's going to be a chili bar. There's also going to be lasagna, and there will be a couple of more potluck type dishes, but the food is all you can eat for $10. And we also always have some great desserts to go with it. We'll sell bottled water to go with the meals. You can bring your own as far as alcohol. We're good with that. But like I said, the food is one of our big money makers. We charge $10, and it's all you can eat, and it tends to go from 11:30 to 8 as people are still eating food.
So you've got plenty of food then to
Yes.
supply
Plenty of
people all
food.
day.
They don't have to worry about bringing food. The camping area is part of the parking area out front, and we find spots to put small campers. We've had a couple of large rigs, but we prefer the small ones. We are growing to a point where we're pushing our parking limit, which is something we always dreamed of. That's a good thing. But we do have room for several small campers, and we usually have 3 to 4 people stay overnight.
Okay.
There's also room. We have hiking trails on the property back behind us. And there's also beautiful areas if people want to tent camp, hammock camp. We've had a couple of people in their hammocks. So it's primitive, but it's beautiful.
Yes, we have 13 acres with, like Whitney said, a lot of hiking trails where people can hike up the side of the mountain, and some of the views up there are really awesome.
They're magnificent.
And then,
We think the last event brought around 250. That's what we were guessing at.
And it was so nice to see people continually all day long
It's like shifts of
coming
people would
over the
come in.
bridge, bringing new dogs.
So
cats,
it is a
whatever.
long enough event that you may not be able to make it all day, but you can come as late as 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon and still see 2 or 3 great bands.
If you go to our website, cabinfevercharityevents.org, that will lead to a link, the Just Giving link on that page.
Yes.
And they can click on that link, and it's very simple.
Yeah, once they
give.
click the link, they simply, when they get to the justgiving.com page, they will just put Cabin Fever Charity Events in the search bar, and our page will pop up, and you can donate online right there. Another way, we even, of course, we accept checks. Checks will be written out to Cabin Fever Charity Events, and a lot of our money comes in through checks.
in society.
And we are absolutely thrilled with the local folks that have come out. Number one, the Humane Society. We never had volunteers before. It was just Rob and myself, taking care of all the property and getting ready. We had volunteers come left and right to help us all 3 days. And then just the local townspeople wanting to come together and to help each other. It'll bring a lump to your throat.
Yeah, I think people here in Floyd recognize the need. If you've ever seen the facility that the animals are kept in, it's not top notch. It's a rental property. And another thing this would do, once they own their own building, it would open them up to be eligible for grants that they can't get right now. You have to own a building, and right now they rent. So that's a big step forward for us. We want to get them where they can actually apply for grants and aids and help improve their facilities even after we build a building.
The need for the building is definitely very dire. The animals, we're not allowed to keep lights on, so they're in the dark. They're shut off. We can't keep doors open.
There's no outdoor runs.
They have a very small rocked-in area to where they can use the bathroom and play a little bit. So it's definitely a need.
Yes, and
Definitely a need.
And we got excited about working with the Floyd County Humane Society when we saw what a great job they did when they do bring an animal into that facility. Well, they pass around pictures of the dogs and ask people to come foster the dog. And most dogs don't stay there long. They've got such a great network of people. They will come and foster that dog just to get them out of there until we find a home for it. So Whitney and myself have fostered 5 dogs this last year. And it really is rewarding to see that dog to go to a forever family.
We have one at home right now.
Yes, we do.
Along with our beautiful golden retriever who loves to teach and help the fosters. Because sometimes the fosters, you know, they've been in there for a little while or they've been through bad situations.
Right.
And it's really nice for them to come to a loving place
Yeah.
and just to see them blossom and start to show their true personalities to us.
That's really
Yes.
sweet.
Yeah, it's awesome. I would just like to say for any like-minded people who agree with what we're doing, you know, come on, the community, come on out. If you can add one more friend or family, bring them on. We want to keep growing. We want this building to happen sooner than later.
Another very unique thing about Cabin Fever charity events is a lot of times when you go and you make a donation, well, people will take their expenses out of your donations. We don't do that. Every cent that is donated to our cause goes directly to the cause. We cover our own expenses. We've had corporate help through my company, Altec Industries, over the years. I will be retiring from Altec at the end of the year. So one thing that we could really use to keep this momentum going for us is a corporate sponsor to help us with the cost of the shirts and the cost of the food and just incremental things that come up that we're paying for out of pocket right now. So we're looking at just some local support to keep us going strong so we can get this building built. We just look forward to seeing everybody at Cabin Fever, and if you can't make it, just keep in mind there's other ways that you can participate, and we really appreciate and need your assistance. This is going to be a team effort for sure.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Ari,
you for the
having us.
opportunity. We really appreciate it and hope to see everybody on October 12th.